I don't know if you were in my earlier session today. I'm doing a cover session now, so I'm gonna bring you back a little bit more information on farming for sellers, all right? So you could also use this for buyers as well, but just some more information to help you guys with your sellers, getting seller leads, and farming for gold. So I'm sharing my screen with you now. Give me a second. No. All right, perfect. So, a lot of us want to farm and a lot of us don't, I'm sure a lot of you guys spend money on a ton of leads, but I want you guys to think a little bit differently. And I want you guys to become an expert in your area. An expert is one who knows more and more about less and less. Little bit about background about me. I am an expert in historic homes. I run a website called Miami Historic Homes. I also have an Instagram called Miami Historic Homes. And that is my expertise. I love, breathe everything historic houses. And if you have any referrals, you could send them my way. But you guys should become experts in your areas. That's how you're gonna beat all these big companies that you guys hear about, right? You guys all spend money on Zillow, on all these different things, UpCity, Trulia, all this wow and all this stuff. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that, but that's not the answer. The reason why these companies make so much money is because realtors have been subpar for so long. You guys, not everybody, and I'm not speaking to anybody specifically, but there are very few experts in a specific market or niche, and they're taking advantage of your weaknesses. The generalist. You guys need to look at yourselves as think of yourself as a doctor, right? A professional. If you have cancer, are you gonna wanna go to the general doctor or the oncologist? You want the oncologist. If you're a home seller, are you gonna wanna go to the general agent or the one that specializes in a specific area, right? So that's how you get a competitive advantage. And I'm not saying don't use these companies either. What I'm saying is this should complement your niche or complement your specialty. And that's what you need to start thinking about differently when it comes to farming, right? Or just picking any kind of specialty. So why don't you guys farm? Or why don't you guys pick a niche? It's very simple. Obviously, it's on the screen, but you want results now. You want instant gratification. And it really takes time for you to start seeing results, right? It's called farming for a reason. You plant some seeds, you watch them grow, you gotta water them, right? You gotta water them, you gotta take care of them, you gotta make sure they have the same enough sunlight. You gotta keep the pests out of there, those other agents trying to invade on your farm area. Right, you got to do all of that and make sure that your trees are going to grow and bear some fruit for you to have some listings, right? But a lot of us, we can't wait that long. But you're going to get a lot better results if you do, right? There's a reason why they tell you to invest 6 to 12 months and not to just do something once and set it and forget it. You need to invest time if you want maximum results. All right, so we got to get out of that mind frame of instant gratification, and we got to know that we're planting seeds for the future, and it's going to help you guys a lot along the way. So where should you farm? There's big things that you should be looking for. You should like and know it. Like, I love historic houses. It is so much fun for me. Like, I love everything about it. If you don't like it, it's gonna show with your clients. So you should like the area and you should know it. A lot of you guys, I recommend starting your neighborhood. It's the easiest place to start, right? Why reinvent the wheel? High turnover. Ideally, you should be looking for 4% turnover or more. Highly recommend you go check out this website, rsppro.com, and they will give you turnover rates for your area. You should do the work and you should check it, but regardless, you can get a little shortcut there. You want places with good price points, right? So good price points that you're gonna invest this money and time and you're gonna get it back, right? It's easy for you to show. Really important, please. That's why you should pick your neighborhood. You're gonna give your clients better service. So if they wanna see a property in 30 minutes, you're gonna be able to go and show it to them. There's gonna be a bunch of reasons why you're gonna pick this one or that one, but really look for at least 3 of those points that I told you, right? 3 of them, because then it's 3 out of 4, right? You like and you know the area, high turnover, good price points, and easy for you to show. So I like to say within 15 minutes of where you live, right? I don't mention competition, because if you're doing your job, there is no competition, right? If you're doing what you need to do and you're the expert in your field, competition doesn't exist. So yes, you should know who's in there, because you should know who you're going up against at a listing presentation, but it's irrelevant in the big picture, right? When you know what you want, you could get it done. It can be a buyer type. It can be, for example, investors. It does not have to be sellers as well. But I want you to think of, what can I specialize in? What niche? Big thing, don't bite off more than you could chew. It's better for you to pick a smaller farmer area that you could hit. It's better for you to pick 1,000 houses and mail them 10 times or outreach to them 10 times than pick 10,000 houses, all right? So know that difference too. So what are you gonna do when you figure out where your farm area is? I like to look at who is your most likely seller. And you have all these tips and tricks and all these tools that you could use to figure it out, right? So the MLS, it's your best friend. Who's renting their properties? Those are your investors. FSBOs, look on Zillow and RedX. Right now is a great time to be going after FSBOs. Don't worry, don't get coronavirus. Let me get it. I'll show the property for you. Expireds on the MLS, you could use RedX, you could use Remine. Out of town owners, that's gonna be on IMAP. These people don't live here. I have been driving around Coral Gables and I've been walking my dog and I've been taking note of all these abandoned houses during this time period. So not only am I getting exercise during quarantine, walking my dogs, I'm going and I'm farming at the same time. And I'm taking nice, pretty pictures for content. So get creative with what you're doing too. Anybody behind on taxes? Nice little check mark on IMAP. All you have to do is go down that box and hit yes. You find out who's behind on taxes, those pain points. Death, divorce, debt, diapers. Well, diapers isn't, you're not gonna be able to track that yet, but there are ways that you can. But all of these, canceled listings, probates, you could find that on IMAP. If you don't know, you can find that on IMAP. Foreclosures, length of ownership, look at the area's average age of ownership, and abandoned houses, like I was just mentioning, driving or walking for dollars, right? So all of these things are who you need to target. Doesn't mean you shouldn't target those other individuals as well, but these are all people that you guys can be targeting to get listings, right? And these are your most likely sellers, so why wouldn't you be targeting them? I am currently doing an expired campaign for my area, right? So I'm doing an expired campaign and I am mailing them about 10 times, calling them, texting them, and doing outreach to all of these individuals. Once you know who's in your farm area, there's a lot more that you could do with it as well. Ideally, you should have a website for your farm area. You should be doing pay-per-click ads, Google ads, and you could get buyers, right? Because once you have buyers or those renters as well, and you turn them into buyers, it's a lot easier for you to get sellers. So you got to look at this as big picture. These are, so you need to, once you get your farm area and you know who your sellers are, you should ideally have a map of your area or an Excel of your area as well. So you could start filling in their contact information, all right? There's numerous providers. I recommend Remine through the association that you could be getting all their contact information, okay? There's a lot that you could do once you have their contact information, right? And then that's when you start hitting your outreach. You should do door knocking when we get back to normal. You should be doing email campaigns. There's another website called Intellius that will give you email addresses as well, right? You're gonna spend less money on an email campaign than you are on direct mail. But you can do direct mail too. And I do recommend you do direct mail because it does work. What doesn't work is when you do it once and you never do it again. Handwritten letters, oh, really goes a really long way, right? Don't you love that feeling when you get something handwritten in the mail and you want to open it up? Personalized touch. So add that personalized touch. This goes back to doing a smaller farm area. So you could do these things. Phone calls, websites with Google Ads, and a blog. Now, if you have your actual list, you could upload that into Facebook, and you could do Facebook ads to your farm area, spending less money, okay? And get on Nextdoor for sure. If you live in your farm area, that's another reason why I recommend that you choose your farm area, because all your neighbors are on Nextdoor. Speak up, get to know them. You could do Facebook groups as well. If there's a Facebook group, like there's this place in Miami called Shenley Park. I don't know if everybody on this call is from Miami, but you'd be surprised what happens in that Facebook group. They talk about everything. They talk about the person who walks the dog and doesn't pick up after the dog. They talk about the weird guy that they saw in the neighborhood, and all they do is chatter in the neighborhood, right? So you want to be that person. There's a few agents who live in Shenley Park and get a ton of business from being relevant, okay? You want to do open houses. Hopefully you get a listing in that area and you're able to do open houses when things get back to normal. But you can also ask to do open houses for other agents' listings, right? Even if they're not in your brokerage. Just create that action, put it out there. The worst thing anybody's going to tell you is no. Neighborhood events. If your neighborhood sponsors any events, you want to be present there. You need to invest time and resources in these individuals so you could get things in return. And of course, signage, that's a big one, right? So all of these things, if you do these all together, I promise you, you're gonna see results, right? If you have a good niche and you have a good marketing campaign, you're gonna see results. For example, I started my website and my Instagram, and I do some other things as well, but I get people just going to my website for free that I don't have to pay $1 for it, registering and asking for information on houses, because I know who my target audience is and I know how to reach them. So you guys got to start doing stuff like that as well. I think that's it. But if not, if you don't want to put in the work, feel free to hire Zillow, Realtor.com, and all these other companies and pay them a ton of money. I'm just trying to teach you how to save some money on your side. That's it. Hope you guys liked it.